Got my cutter, got my torch. Pour a beverage and I step out on the porch. Grab a cigar, I love that view. I guess it's time for another Poolside cigar review.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Poolside Cigar Reviews with Kirk. Today I'm taking a look at a budget stick. Not to say that it's an inferior cigar, but this is the Torano Vault Blend A008. And I believe that the name comes from the fact that this, I believe, was in the Torano blend book for a long time, and it was never in production, but I think it had been blended a while ago. Blenders tend to do that. They kind of keep a blend book of all the different things that they're working on, what they're trying, what works, what doesn't. So at any given time, there's probably hundreds or thousands of cigars, who knows, in any given blender's blend book. But that aside, I have smoked quite a few of these, and they're pretty good. And the reason I'm coming at you with a budget stick today is just because, you know, in general, we don't always smoke super premium cigars. I know I don't. So I try to share, in general, what I'm smoking. I do love a good value. And I think that this Torano Vault represents that. So we've got two bands here. I think this is a Nicaraguan Puro. They describe the wrapper as a Colorado. I suppose. Colorado is more of a color. It tends to be slightly darker, maybe a little bit reddish. But nice looking wrapper. Looks like a triple cap. Sometimes it's hard to tell. But this is the Robusto. It's 5 by 52. Got a great draw on it. Just the right amount of resistance that I like. And a good clean tobacco taste. In general, I don't think that the prelate draw means that much, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you guys care about the prelate draw? Because personally, I don't. I just started doing it, frankly, because I've seen so many other reviewers do it. I thought that maybe it was something that people like to see, but I don't really know. I haven't heard any feedback on what people think about the prelate draw. It's a little bit breezy today. I have a new camera set up to try to stop some of that wind noise, so hopefully it works. It definitely has some of those traditional Nicaraguan spice flavors. It's got some deep tobacco. Off the first light, definitely in that medium to full range. Tiny bit of salt, just a little bit. Get deep tobacco, some dark, definite like espresso. Very nice. And my ice is melting. And since this is a budget stick, and I'm just trying to represent just any kind of everyday smoke, I'm going to be pairing that today with a little bit of Mitcher's Single Barrel Straight Rye. This is some good rye whiskey. So I'll go ahead and pour myself a dram, and when we come back, I'll let you know how the first half of the cigar went, and we'll talk a little bit about this whiskey. So stick around, guys. I will see you in a minute. Okay, so I'm about, let's see, about 40 minutes in, a little more than halfway through. Not a very dynamic cigar. I get a lot of espresso, a little cocoa, some deep tobacco, mild spice, but there's a lot of those flavors. I mean, it's a very flavorful cigar. There's a little bit of woodiness on the retrohale, I think. And it's very pleasant. I haven't touched this up at all. It's a little breezy. The burn's not perfect. but it pumps out a lot of smoke, and it'll catch itself up here. But it's a good, flavorful, again, I think medium to full bodied. And I'm pairing that today, like I said, with a little bit Mitcher's single barrel straight rye. And this is a new one for me. I just picked this up this week. And this is 42.5% alcohol. And I love this. You know, I haven't been much of a... I haven't tried many ryes. You know, I had a Jim Beam rye a few years ago, but I don't really remember it. But this, it's very drinkable. You know, my whiskey background, I'm more of a single malt guy. But single malts are getting so expensive, and I'm trying to kind of branch out and see what else is out there. And with that, you know, as far as bourbons go, you know, bourbon is the next obvious choice, you know, for an American. And I like bourbon, but I don't love bourbon. You know, a lot of bourbons to me have a soapy flavor. You know, for example, I think Maker's Mark is a very soapy tasting bourbon. Almost, if you've ever tasted like cilantro, like cilantro has its soapy taste. I think some bourbons have a soapy taste that I don't like, but I like the deep honey and oak, that vanilla that you get out of a bourbon. And to me, this rye has all of those flavors plus a little bit of like a bready spice. But none of that soapy flavor. It's got everything I like about bourbon plus a little bit more and no soapy taste. So I love this rye. And it's pairing fantastically with this cigar. I mean, the rye definitely stands up to a full-bodied cigar without overpowering it. I mean, these are both fine, you know, on their own or paired together. I really don't think they add to or take away so much from one another, but they're both fantastic. And I just really like it. I think I paid not super cheap stuff. This was $43 for the bottle. I don't think it needs water. You know, I generally add water to whiskey. I did start this with a little bit of ice in it just to cool it down because it's so hot outside. But I think the water it sweetens it up a little bit. But I think you also lose a little bit of that spiciness. So water changes it. If you pick up a bottle for yourself, I mean, I suggest trying it with water. But for me, I actually prefer this neat, which is rare. I generally drink whiskey with a little bit of water in it. But anyway, the pairing is great. So I'll go ahead and soldier on, let you know how this cigar finishes out. But so far, I mean, this is a good smoke. So see you guys in a minute, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so I'm about an hour and 20 minutes in, just finishing this out, starting to get warm. That's a long time for a Robusto to burn. The reason I like this cigar so much, like I said from the beginning, is it's a value stick. I got this off of CBids. I bought a 5-pack for 12 bucks. So, a little over $2 a stick. Great cigar at that price. The flavors, the baseline flavors, stayed about the same. In the second half, a little bit of earth picked up in there. It got a little bit spicier. And then towards the end, it's starting to pick up kind of a harsh note, a little bit ashy at times. But for $2, I mean, come on. This great cigar for that price. If you like Nicaraguan cigars, this is right up your alley. If you like full-bodied cigars, full-flavored cigars, this is right up your alley. Well, when I say body, a lot of people equate that to strength. So strength-wise, I don't know. I don't get any strength out of this, but I've said it before. I'm not sensitive to nicotine. So you might want to look at another review if you want to know the strength on this. I think they say that it's a full-strength cigar, but I don't feel anything. But again, that doesn't mean it's not there. But I like this cigar. This is a very good cigar to me for when you're in the mood for a good cigar. I mean, if you're a cigar smoker, you're never in the mood for a bad cigar. I mean, nobody ever wants to smoke a bad cigar. But sometimes if you're like driving in your car or you're on the golf course, you still want a good cigar, but you don't want to waste a fancy, expensive premium cigar. This is perfect for that type of occasion because it's got a lot of flavor. It's not overly complex. There's not a lot of transitions in it, but it's got a lot of good full-bodied flavors. So when you're in the mood for a good full-bodied cigar, but you're not really ready to invest the time or effort to sit and really think about what you're smoking, this is a great cigar. For me, I like this cigar when I'm hanging out by the pool. You know, if I've had a few beers and, you know, you get a little bit of little rosy cheeks, you get a little smiley, and you want a cigar, but you might have had a couple of beverages, too many to really appreciate, you know, a super premium cigar. This is a good go-to for that type of situation. And because it's more full-bodied, I think it's easier to pair, I mean, this might not pair that well with like a light beer. You might not taste your beer. But if you're drinking, you know, a fuller-bodied beer or definitely any kind of whiskey or cognac or cocktail, anything that has bigger flavors, I think will stand up just fine to this. The burn is great. I've never had any construction problems with these. You know, I never had to touch it up. You can see how straight the burn is. Now, it was wavy at times, but it always caught up. Very good. And this Michter's rye, I think I called it Mitchers earlier, but it's actually Michter's. Again, this is the first bottle I've had, so I'm not super familiar with the brand. But this Michter's rye is great. And it's definitely got some spiciness to it if you drink it neat. So, overall, this is a great cigar. Now, I think Cigars International, which is the same company as CBIDS, Cigars International has this listed at, I think, $32 maybe for a 5-pack. That's a fair price, you know, for what you get. But personally, I would buy this exclusively off of CBIDS when I could get it for a good deal. Because I think these come up, I mean, I've seen these on CBIDS all the time. So keep your eyes open for the Torano Vault 008. Great cigar for the price. Very good value stick. And I'm always a value hunter. This one is an A+ for me value-wise. So just wanted to share that with you. Share this rye. This is a great rye. If you're a rye drinker already or you want to get into it, I think this would be a good place to start. I did some research. That's why I bought it. Highly rated by a lot of aficionados. So check it out. I certainly enjoy it. And again, my background is more of a Scotch drinker, but I really like this rye. So I'll go ahead and leave you with that. It's very hot. It's starting to get muggy. Weather's rolling in. So I'll leave you with that. Please click the like button. Click the subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Let me know, have you had this cigar? Are you a rye drinker? I always love to hear from you, see you know, what you have to say. And I always message you back. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Guys and gals. It's a nice day for a cigar. I hope you can grab one for yourself pretty soon. So, all right. I guess that leaves me with nothing but the best advice I can ever offer, and that is to keep your feet in the pool, a drink in your hand, and a cigar in your mouth. Have a good one, everybody.